Yo guys, what's up? It's Joy and today I'm back with another sort of like personal advice slash music advice video. Today we're going to be talking about playing the long game. So what is playing the long game? Playing the long game is choosing a path and sticking to it. It's saying, okay, I want to go after, say, in my case, being a techno DJ, or I want to go after, being a really good ghost producer, or whatever it is that you want to do, and just sticking to that and doing what it takes, as little as the steps may be, taking each step of the way until you get to where you want to be. So a good example of this, like I said, would be like with my techno career. So earlier this year, I didn't know anybody in techno. I knew like a few people who had reached out to me from this channel, but I didn't know any labels, I didn't know any promoters, I didn't know any of the other DJs to support my tracks. I didn't even really know that much about making techno, to be honest. And so what I did was, I saw that I wanted to do that, I looked at it, and I looked at like the steps you gotta take, and I just buckled down and did them, no matter what it took. So like, for example, with me, what this meant was, I spent about 2 or 3 months, from March to around June or May or so, just emailing labels, and emailing labels, and emailing labels, and I just was sending the same few tracks around to so many different labels, and then finally one bit, and I got the release on IMT, my Destiny EP. And so after that, I came and I followed it up with a release on Reload. So instead of just coming with that one IMT release, then I did that, and people saw that, and then the next month I came back with another thing. So all the people who saw the first thing now are seeing the second thing, and, both of those may not have been huge steps. It wasn't like I got some crazy release on Drumcode or anything, but they were very, very good for my career, and they worked out really well, and it was good because people saw me consistently. It's like more about your consistent output over time and sort of like just getting people to know you rather than like one particular song. So like the opposite of this, like the way I would say not to do this would be to go like, okay, I'm going to make a really good tech house track and I'm going to somehow sign it with no other releases to Toolroom or Defected or like some huge tech house label, and then I'm going to go from there, and then that's going to somehow be like their biggest song ever. It's like, no, that's not really how it's going to work. How it really would work if you wanted to do that would be like, okay, I'm going to put out some really, really good tech house tracks on maybe some smaller labels, but still well-known labels and still respected labels, and then I'm going to come from that and consistently put out more and more on bigger and bigger labels, and then I could get to do the big Toolroom release. And then maybe the big Toolroom release isn't even going to be your biggest possible thing. Maybe that's not going to be some huge thing. Maybe that's just going to kind of fly under the radar, and then you'll go and release on some smaller labels for the next few months, and then you can kind of come back and try to have a big release. It's like, stuff like that. Like, that's more the way you need to approach it. And the reason why the long game is important is this. Because if you just have one song that just becomes your big song, or say you just make one EP and somehow everybody just pays attention to that one EP, it's not really going to give people an idea of you. What's going to happen is they're going to know that music, and they're going to get really wrapped up in those songs, and then anything else you try to come with is not going to work out. You're going to be a one-hit wonder. Versus if you play the long game and you kind of approach it like, okay, I'm going to, again, get people used to my consistent output over time on solid, well-known outlets. Then what's going to happen is they're going to come to know you. They're going to be looking for your name as opposed to the one track. It's like they can either pay attention to your name or the name of a song. And I would much rather they pay attention to my name. And the thing about all of this is like it seems like a lot of work, and it seems like it's not really like what you want to do if you are just trying to get started in production or get started with this stuff. But I mean, the truth is, even while you're saying that in your head, like even while you're seeing it and evaluating it and saying, oh, I want to just have one big song and just make it easy on myself. Even while you're seeing all that, it still is undeniable that if you really wanted to do it, you would have to play the long game. You're kind of just like tricking yourself in your mind. And again, I know because I did that for a while. Like for so long, I would do that and I didn't get anywhere. It just didn't do anything for me. And so, yeah, that's really the main thing. It's like I said, I think you just need to approach it from more about your consistent output over time rather than, oh, I'm going to just dive in and have this one huge song right now. And you'll learn to appreciate it more too. It's like if you just got it right away, you're not really going to appreciate it that much. It's like people who win the lottery. It's like if you win the lottery, it's really easy to spend all your money because you don't have to work for the money. But if you sat there in your room for a year and just worked hard and saved up money, you're going to be a lot more careful with that money than, like I said, if you just won the lottery. it's the same deal here. If you really, really want it, and you really want it to be this special thing that can sustain you and it becomes your career and everybody knows you, you're going to have to play the long game because, simply put, that's just how it is. And there are other people who are willing to work harder than you are. That's how I always think of it. It's like, even if I'm working really hard and even if I am going somewhere, there's always somebody who's willing to go a little bit lower and do something that I wouldn't do, or somebody who's willing to work harder or stay up that extra hour or something like that. And that is kind of what informs this approach for me. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the long game and kind of managing expectations. I know it can be easy when you're first starting out, or maybe when you're in your first few years of doing this, to not really see it this way, but the truth is, like I said, even when you're thinking of it differently, this is always how it is, and this is always how it was going to be. You can either avoid that, or you can embrace it and enjoy the fun things about it. You know, I kind of like doing it this way. It's like, yeah, of course, it would be fun to just go and have, like, the biggest release tomorrow, and, you know, go play every single club and do all this stuff, but, like, you know, it's kind of fun to build, too. I like going along the way and making these connections with all the DJs that own these labels, and kind of getting around the industry and getting known and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot to be enjoyed during the process as well. And that is the ultimate thing this comes down to. It's like, do you love the process or you just love the results? So, yeah, that is me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos. I'm trying to get a little more creative with them, too, and not just tell you, like, stop buying gear, but tell you really practical advice that I've learned the hard way over my journey doing this. So, yeah, thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments like I already said. If you want to support me, the link to my sample packs is all in the description. I got a bunch of great sample packs for sale. They're all like $5 or $10, and they got really, really high quality sounds in there. So definitely go check those out if you're looking for some new inspiration or some new sounds to work with. I've also got my email for lessons and custom tutorials and all that kind of stuff in the description. And yeah, so thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.